Hey guys, welcome back to Close with Bondo. Tonight I'm going to go through our War Win 195. We're getting up there. We have a war organised hopefully for our 200th, but we just have to keep going until then. So a bit of a green log there going on. It's getting pretty awesome at the moment. You see a bit of a bad patch, so it happens. We've had mod clans here and there, but so far we've had a good string, a few good wins to keep us up there, but this was a war that we were down by 4 Town Hall 11s overall, but we had three stars in the 10s and 11s. So as you see, they didn't really do the best job on our bases, so they were well and truly out of it. And we did see a 3-star first hit on number 5 from 80. That was a re-hit from Bondo 81B. Town Hall 8 opened that. We had a re-hit from Shine on number 8. They're both good raids. I'll show those. Clan Mascot did a... Where are we? He did a fresh hit 3-star on this base. But as you see, level 2 singles. Obviously, Mascot has the level 3 witches. So smash that out. And of course, our 9s did the job. So what I'm going to do, I haven't mapped out this YouTube as I've got heaps going on. I'm well and truly behind on my YouTube count, and I'm trying to catch up. So I'm going to just go for it. We'll show the hit from Bondo. This was quite a simple attack. Really, you do play a little bit of chance based on where the bombs are, but as a fresh hit, you see this a lot in Legends League, this particular one. So yeah, it's a bit of a common thing. So I've gone in with the 4 healers. The Queen has walked exactly where I wanted. I wanted her to go right and then enter in at that cannon/mortar. As you see, I do try and use a archer. I don't know if I have dropped it yet, just to get that camp to make sure she does push in. So the basis for this attack for me is to have it as a 2-stage attack where you have the Queen do the walk, and then you send in a flank, and then with the Queen you add all the witches, add the Warden, and that goes towards midfield. And then on the flank you have 2 golems, maybe some witches, a couple of wizzies, maybe a king. It all depends on which particular base. But the Queen's gone the way I wanted. I was probably a little bit lucky it was only a level 20 Queen. Otherwise I would have had to have popped my Queen's cherry quite early. And you see there, I'll just point that out. I don't know if you did see it, but a little wall breaker run past there. The intention was to try and trip any bombs that were there, but there was no bombs. So that's always a good little trick. One of our players, Susie, actually taught me that a long time ago. You see 2 traps right next to the Queen as she goes in. Early freeze on that Inferno just to keep that Queen up. That was important. And you see the enemy, my King go down very, very early. Didn't pop his ability, missed it. Pretty good timing on the Eternal Tome there. Saved a few wizzies from that giant bomb. So it's all sort of going well to plan at the moment. I knew I've got the 2-star. That was always the initial aim. 3 healers broke away and went to heal the golem, and that kind of worked out quite well for the raid in the end. Old Mr. Warden, he's running around like a bloody idiot. And we see up the top there's 4 witches with the golem. There's 5 wizzies. Queen's in the midfield. She's only got the 1 healer on her, so that's problematic. But it worked out quite well, of course. A bit of a swig of me coffee. You see there, Queen goes down. She wasn't going to live through 1 point defence with just the 1 healer on her. So the golem, though, he's been topped up nicely. The healer breaks off, and it's all over Red Rover. A few witches left, a few wizzies left. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. Alright, next I'm going to show is the attack on number 7. And this was a hit from Bondo 81B. And you see the base, he's got 3 air defence over this left-hand side with the max multi, and then a multi over there by the other air defence. So for me, I looked at this base and I sort of thought, well, you can smash out 3 air defences pretty easy. How are you going to do it? Are you going to Golai it? Are you going to Queen Walk it? And I thought, what I'll go in with is a lightning set. It's one of my common armies. I'll lightning out the Inferno, get as much damage done to the Queen as I can, And then that means you've only got to deal with one Inferno. But because that Inferno is so close to the air defence, it means your hounds are going to be soaking on that for quite a while. So it worked out quite well. We'll speed it up at the start. So you see the 4 healers go down for the Queen. Good timing on the wall breakers, although the Queen does actually pad a little bit differently. You see Minion up the top there as well for some herding. That's going to be, the King's going to go into that air defence by itself there next to the Queen. So you see he comes out, a few whizzies to give him a bit of backup. Level 35, old Jimmy Bob, he needs some love. I'll start farming him again this week. I didn't need to pop the Queen, but as I was watching what was going on with old Jimmy Bob, I knee-jerked and used it. So it's a pity I did use it, but at this stage I know 4 healers is probably overkill. It's definitely nothing's going to kill the Queen, so I knew I could just use all of my rages for the air element. So that's still a good side. What I do now is I've got 2 wizards left, and you see I'll go them both out down here by the Queen. The intention is to help with the hound, speed it up, and also get any pups. Now this is where I've really gone wrong in this raid. What I was worried about was hitting through that blower, and I've really done the air quite bad. I should have hit into the blower. I had a lot of rage spells. I could have gotten the Inferno multi out and the air defense very quickly, very early, and it would have been all over from there. But it's definitely one of my weaker armies, the Lava Loon. I don't know why. I've used it farming a lot. I've used it pushing cups, but it's still definitely my weakest deploy for a unit. So other than that, it was a good fun raid. We did sort of pick out early that we would be able to 3-star that base, and we got a town hall open on it to show us a little bit, so it was good. Next off, we'll show Shine's re-hit on base number 8. It had a pretty good open, and Shine's come in and just tweaked it a little bit, and he's got a Queen Walk, 5 healers. The reason with 5 is because she's going to be under pretty heavy fire where he sends it, and I think he's got Valks and Giants in his clan castle. He's got 10 hogs at the end and 2 golems to go with his king. So it's a bit of a go-whiz second part, and then followed by just some hogs to clean up and get things cranking. So you do see a lot of time get chewed up from this intro, but by doing it like how he's done it here, he's avoided the Queen being under huge fire and needing to use extra spells in midfield just to keep her up. Unfortunately, the wizard he's put down to support the Queen, that died to the cannon, but it did get rid of the camp, which was pretty important to make sure the Queen's pathing was what he wanted. He wanted her to go in the middle here. Enemy Queen's almost dead from the lightnings. Blowers aren't going to play any problem to him, and he's going to get through. His Queen did pad a little bit differently to the first attack, but it still worked out well. First rage down, that's needed. You see there's 2 expos on it. The ground expo, that's the one that made this raid that little bit annoying. So enemy Queen goes down. Still got a poison in the bag, and the poison is to just assist with the king. So he's starting to consider his ground. He's getting the itchy feet at the moment. Now I guess this is something that we can point out, and this is things that we're all progressing to get through. That archer tower was firing for a really, really long time. If he had used 2 loons, that archer tower would have been dead. So these are little things that we pick up along the way, and you'll actually see this used later in his raid about points and where we start to think. So you see the 2 golems go down, the wizards for the clear, and then 2 hogs. Because that archer tower over there is firing at that golem, that archer tower is completely defenceless. So those hogs will get in there. That's that wall breaker I was talking about as well. He's used that perfectly. That's tripped off a double giant bomb set. So Queen, she actually turns in. Last time the attack on this base, she actually walked around. So it was a little bit unfortunate. But you see there was a couple of Valks. One's died already. One's helping. Just something that can hit as well as soak that Inferno at the same time. By using those 2 hogs at the start, that forced his golems to pad around the direction he wanted and towards that multi-inferno. So you see he's got 8 hogs left now. He splits them up. Couple whizzies for the tail, that was awesome. And yeah, really good hit. Great work, Sean. Okay, now I don't really need to show that attack. We did muck around on base number 9. Unfortunately, Sean had an attack. That was his first hit, 91%, so he did have a go at that. Let's see if we can find a raid. I really don't remember who's used what, so let's have a look at number 13. This was DTN. What's he got? Shattered Go-Hog. He's got a little pecker in there. A couple of loons. It's a Bitzer army by the looks of it. A bit of this, bit of that. Minions to start off with. A couple of loons. We'll speed up the intro. What's he going with? Got an earthquake set. So our guys are mucking around. Beck showed our people, so Rebex has showed our people attacks where she uses the P.E.K.K.A. As that third golem. So instead of using a stone golem, throws in a P.E.K.K.A. The problem in on maps like this is they can get fried really quickly. So rage down though, that's the thing, if you've got a rage down on a P.E.K.K.A, she'll smash it. His queen's got walkies. King did the job though. He went inside. That helped him get the enemy queen. Hound split. It's giving a bit of grief because obviously there's only 2 golems tanking now, so all the internal wizards are dying. Starting with the hogs, he's got 2 heals for his tail. It's quite heavy on that side now for the hogs. I'd expect a heal to come along. There you go, that's held out quite well. 1 double giant bomb set triggered by his ground. We'll speed this up a bit. Alright, there's the other double bomb set. Nice heal to finish that off. And she's all over Red Rover. We did have a few Town Hall 9s have to get, not a few, I think it was 2. This war, they had to get the Town Hall 8s to finish them off. Let's see what Beck uses here. Oh, that was that army I was talking about. So we've just seen one of those. Z4 had a 6-star wall, I think it was. So we'll have a look at one of his. Bondo 82 did try and hit a Town Hall 11 and stuffed it. DTN almost got 6, so 6-star war for Z4, 6-star war for Cone, and a 6-star war for Iron. So we did have a few people come through. We'll have a look and see what Z4 does. Stone Go-Hog. We did have quite a few people use Stone Go-Hogs this war. A bit of a versatile army used properly. I think Cone did it twice, to be honest. It was a double stoned from old Cone, using his army name. Oh, so he's got a rage to help with the hound. Pretty much 80% of their bases, I think, had hounds. So it's pretty easy to judge. Good use of a few early hogs. You can see that cannon and stuff was shooting at the midfield. This is how you chase your golems. So you're hogging into your golems to get those outer cells that they're not going to get into, and that means you don't need to heal your hogs that early. So that's he's got bugger all left before he's thrown down his first heal. So providing obviously he doesn't hit a double, he's laughing. Hogs everywhere. It's a bit of a swag heal really when you look at it. Queen's still alive with ability in midfield. She's barely touched. Just another good example. Alrighty, so a good win for us. I think that put us at our 13. We're not far off our best streak, but we have a pretty tough army here. We've got a few people sitting out for an organised war, and unfortunately it's 2 Town Hall 11 bases, and we've got all Town Hall 10 bases. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, hope you guys had a bit of a laugh. Hope you enjoyed, and clash on.
You got his eye from across the room.